So, we've got some reports coming out of Alligator Auschwitz um, that have been detailing the horrific conditions there. Um, I mean, from the very beginning, the place was, it was built like shit, right? It's just a fucking bunch of tents, just fucking tents out in the middle of the Everglades, in the middle of fucking hurricane season, right? Like, it was flooding like within, I think it was before it was even opened, right? Or like a few days after it was opened. Like, just, you know, a complete shit show. And honestly, it's probably intentional, right? They're probably trying to get these immigrants killed. They probably want to, just reduce the number uh as fast and as much as they can. Sorry, as much as they can, as fast as they can, um, regardless of however they do it, right? Whether it's deportation or if some of them fall sick and die, or don't eat and die of malnutrition, right? Doesn't really seem like they care, right? We've already had about a dozen people die in ICE custody so far this year, and it doesn't seem like they've been making any efforts to improve their conditions. If anything, it seems like they're making active efforts to worsen their conditions, which is only something you do if you're trying to get these people killed. Um, they probably do actually want a hurricane to just come in, wipe the entire thing away, so that they can kill everybody in there. Um, but we have this article by NBC News. The headline reads: Families and immigrant detainees allege horrible conditions at Alligator Auschwitz. Miami-Dade County Mayor Daniela Levine Cava sent a letter to Florida's Attorney General requesting access to and monitoring of the detention site, which was built on county land. Okay? Got a picture here of these assholes. Sadistic, sick, sadistic fucks at their concentration camp. The article reads, quote, Immigrant detainees and their loved ones are denouncing what they allege are terrible conditions, including a lack of water, issues with electricity, and copious mosquitoes at the state-managed immigration detention facility in the Florida Everglades that officials have named Alligator Alcatraz, better known as Alligator Auschwitz. Vladimir Miranda, a migrant from Cuba who has been at the facility since Sunday, said that right now the generators apparently can't cope and the electricity is going out. He told Telemundo 51 via telephone call. When the electricity goes out, there's no water and the phones and air conditioners don't work. And we're here sweating profusely, Miranda said in his native Spanish. His girlfriend, Evelyn, Evelyn Ortiz, told NBC6 that Miranda crossed the U.S.-Mexico border and, like many Cuban immigrants, was given the 1-220A form that documents that a migrant has been released into the U.S. by Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, ICE. He had the final hearing 2 weeks ago, she said. But days later, Miranda, 32, was detained by immigration officials at his job in Orlando and moved to the Everglades facility. The conditions they're going through, they're horrible, Ortiz alleged. They don't have water. They can't use the bathroom properly. They're not taking a bath. Here's a picture of the concentration camp. Okay. The article continues. Miranda hadn't had access to immigration attorneys, Ortiz added. Miranda's allegations echo other detainees' accounts. Limsy Izquierdo, also known as Lemsi La Figura, a self-described Cuban urban artist, has been at the detention center since Friday. There is no water here to bathe, Izquierdo said in Spanish to Telemundo 51 from inside the facility, adding it's been 4 days since he showered. Izquierdo also alleged that they give you food only once a day, food that even has worms in it. Let me repeat that. They give you food only once a day, food that even has worms in it. Detention center lights are always on 24/7, he said, and the mosquitoes are the size of elephants. They're feeding these people food with worms. After only a few days, a few weeks of this place being open, and they already have food being served with worms and maggots in it. Ain't that kind of strange? It's almost, right? I don't want to make any accusations here, but it's almost like somebody added, like a person made the conscious decision to add worms and maggots into people's food. Only a few days, a few weeks, and there's already food with worms? Nah. They want to serve people worms. They made a conscious effort to put worms into people's food. That is how sick and depraved and disgusting these twisted, sick freaks are. That they add worms into people's food. And even if they didn't add it, even if they didn't add the worms into people's food, they're certainly not taking it out. They're certainly not doing anything about it. They're certainly not letting Congress come in to do inspections. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder why they won't let people do inspections. I wonder why. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's continue reading this article. Izquierdo said they are not allowed to go outside, and the tents detainees are kept in are freezing. According to Izquierdo's partner, he's a permanent resident. Let me read that again. According to Izquierdo's partner, he is a permanent resident. He was sent to the facility following assault and battery charges involving a dispute with a tow company worker. He has pleaded not guilty to the charges. I thought you were supposed to be innocent until proven guilty in this country. Yet this is how you're treating people who are innocent. Because they're innocent. They're innocent. All of these people are innocent until proven guilty. And if you don't like that, then you can always go to a country where that's not the case. You can go to Iran, China, North Korea. I'm sure they'll be glad to take you there, where you're guilty until proven innocent, right? I'm sure you'll love it there. But all of a sudden, when it comes to immigrants, when it comes to brown people, when it comes to minorities, innocent until proven guilty, the Constitution, people's rights, people's civil liberties, gone. All thrown out the window. Anyway, let's keep going. Several other detainees at the facility have made similar complaints. Oh, so it's not just one person, huh? A Colombian national said he's been there for 3 days without access to medicine he needs. They're trying to kill these people, man. They're trying to kill them. This is what somebody would do if they were purposefully trying to kill people and to ferment illness and to allow people to deteriorate and to put them under such conditions that many of them might want to take their own lives. That's what they're trying to do. Some of them already have. There's already been some people who have killed themselves in ICE custody. And people who have died because of the horrendous conditions. Because they've gotten sick. There was a woman who had a miscarriage. At least one that we know of. These are crimes against humanity. And whatever crime these people might have committed does not excuse committing crimes against humanity against them and against large groups of people and racially profiling Latinos. And I'm sure it will be black people soon. And they're already doing it with Muslims and Arabs, right? And the reason I say it will probably be with black people soon too is because of Haitian immigrants. Stephanie Hartman, Deputy Director of Communications for the Florida Division of Emergency Management, said in an email to NBC South Florida that the reporting on the conditions in the facility is completely false. The facility meets all required standards and is in good working order. Oh yeah? Why won't you let people do inspections then? Show us! Don't tell us. Show us. Show us. And not just when you want to, not just when you've, tidied it up and, swept all of the human rights violations under the rug. No, no, no. Allow Congress to exercise their powers that already belong to them, that they already have, that they're already supposed to have at least. Let them do their inspections. Let them drop in whenever they fucking damn well please to make sure that you're actually treating these people humanely. But you can't do that, can you? Because then you would expose yourself and you would give the entire game away for what it really is. NBC South Florida also reached out to ICE, but a spokesperson said they cannot talk about detainees who are not in one of their facilities. The Everglades Detention Center is run by the state. The Florida Immigration Coalition is urging Miami-Dade County Mayor Daniela Levine Cava to file a lawsuit against the state with the hopes that the detention center will be shut down. As it damn well should be. As it fucking should be. Levine Cava, a Democrat, sent a letter to the Florida Attorney General James Uthmire, a Republican, stating the land owned by the county has been commandeered by the state and requesting access to the facility. She asked for weekly site reports summarizing conditions at the facility, remote video monitoring access, and scheduled site visits by a small oversight team so it can check for compliance, safety, and possible environmental impacts. Which is the way it should have already been. The way it already was, I think. But these sadistic jackasses in the Trump regime, these maggots decided to just throw that all away to tear apart the Constitution and then wipe their asses with the rest of it, with the Bill of Rights. And all of a sudden, Congress members are getting locked out of buildings that they have every right to go into. They're being denied their right to do inspections. This is some fucking bullshit. Got another article for you guys here. I won't read the whole thing this time. This one's from Yahoo News. I won't read the whole thing this time though, because it goes through a lot of the same stuff. But there was a part here that stood out to me that wasn't in the previous article. Here. Quote, "There is no water here to bathe," Limsi said. "They give you food only once a day, food that even has worms in it." The musician, whose real name is Ramsey Izquierdo, said the detention center is plagued by mosquitoes the size of elephants and that the lights in the facility are left on 24 hours a day. A Colombian detainee described a lack of medical care and religious restrictions. I'm on the edge of losing my mind. I've gone 3 days without taking my medicine, he said. 3 days? They took the Bible I had and they said, here, there is no right to religion. What? First of all, I thought these maggots were all about Christian nationalism, and they were so proud of their Christianity, and they were so religious, and they were so high and mighty, and they looked down upon the rest of us from their high horse and lecture the rest of us about, oh, how dare you infidels not follow the word of God, to the letter, which, by the way, if they actually read that book, they would know that in it, it tells you that you're supposed to treat immigrants and foreigners with some damn respect. Maybe they could learn something from the book they so love to claim to worship and base their entire identity and life around. But I digress. Regardless of their religion, or alleged religion, what the fuck did I just read? Here, let me read it to you again. Because I need to read it again. To really get it into my head. To really understand what the fuck I just read. So here, let me read it again. They took the Bible I had and they said, here, there is no right to religion. I am running out of words to describe the depths of the depravity and abuse that these twisted Gestapo thugs are willing to sink to. I am running out of words to describe just I think I just did run out of words. This is such an egregious violation of this person's rights. But it's not just that. This mentality, this quote exposes the mentality of these sadists. They don't think the people that they are rounding up have rights. They don't think they have any rights, not even to religion. Why? Because to acknowledge that they have a right to religion would remind them of the humanity of these people. And they can't acknowledge that. They can't bring themselves to acknowledge it. That's why they have to wear the masks. Because they can't bring themselves to do what they're doing otherwise. And in that same way, they can't bring themselves to do what they're doing without telling themselves, because this is something that this Gestapo pig is telling himself first before he says it to this detainee. And he has told himself, these people have no rights, not even to religion, not even to their beliefs. Because that makes it so that they can rationalize and justify the cruelty that they are doing, the atrocities that they are inflicting upon these people. Because to acknowledge that they have rights would be to acknowledge that they are human. And they can't do that. Because to acknowledge it would be to accept a truth that they do not want to accept. Which is that they are the sadistic assholes. That they are the bullies. And they can't do that because it would destroy the perception that they have of themselves. It would destroy and shatter their own worldview. And they are fucking terrified of it. And because they're fucking pussies, as is evident by their fucking masks, these law enforcement, they're so ashamed and scared of what they're doing and of the public perception to it that they can't do it without masks. At the same time, are dehumanizing these people to avoid facing the reality that they're horrible human beings. That they are full of hate for their fellow man, for their brothers and sisters, for fellow children of God. And because they are so terrified of facing that reality, they would rather take it out on people who are defenseless in most cases, who don't have resources, who a lot of times lack the ability to stand up for themselves because they're bullies. That's what bullies do. They punch down on people that they deem to be easy targets. And so, because there is something fundamentally wrong with these Gestapo freaks, there is some sort of trauma or some sort of abuse probably against them. They have instead decided, like pretty much any typical bully, to take it out on somebody else. And because they're cowards, they can't pick a fight with someone their own size, let alone somebody bigger than them. They have to go with somebody that they think is an easy target. But you know what? They're wrong. They're wrong. And in time, they'll come to realize just how wrong they were all along. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching today's show. It's getting kind of late. I actually wanted to cover more stories today, but I also ended up recording more than I was expecting to. I ended up talking a lot more than I thought and saying a lot more than I thought I was going to say. So, which is good, right? It gives me more footage to work with, and it gives you guys more content. I Yeah, I wish we could have covered more stories today, but it is how it is. There's always tomorrow. Of course, tomorrow there's probably going to be a bunch of other breaking news tomorrow that's going to, probably make a lot of the stories I wanted to cover today take a back seat, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Hopefully, I'll still be able to cover them. Hope you all have a great rest of your day or night, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care. Hey everyone, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can make this channel grow. This has been Revolution Television, where the revolution is televised. Peace.